London. Fast-paced, bright lights, the metropolis. The city is the international capital of finance. However, there are still rural pockets here that offer a unique experience. These are facing increasing financial threats. Stepney City Farm is just a short distance away from the skyscrapers. This is a typical Saturday morning farmers market, where food is produced by local farmers and cooks. Places like the farm offer a respite from the madness of city living, which can be hectic. But the farm and the charity running it are involved in a continuous battle to raise essential funds to keep the site open. Paul Woodman is being directly affected by this struggle.
It's something that the farm's always had to deal with, this lack of funding. We're hoping that with the money that we got from the local food fund, from the big lottery, that's allowed us to actually build infrastructure into the farm that will generate income. So, for example, the cafes now, during summer months, we make a bit of a profit, which then is ploughed straight back into the farm. Likewise, the farmers markets on a Saturday, we hire our space for that, and we're now producing a lot more of our own food, vegetables and meat on the farm that we sell, and that covers our costs. So the big lottery funding has helped the farm set up infrastructure and mechanisms that will hopefully help us and put us in a better position for the future.
The end of this lottery funding means that Paul and 2 other staff members have lost their jobs. This means the farm staff is now under an increasing amount of pressure to keep the day-to-day running of the farm going smoothly, as well as facing a constant battle of fundraising.
I'm here when you're not as well. I just feel like we need to kind of support them, because otherwise the supermarkets will take over. So I tend to find that all my not my full weekly shop, because you can't get everything here, but whatever I can, especially kind of meat and kind of deli things like that, I always try and buy it from here. And you end up the community kind of spirit around here is great, because the same people come every week. We know the farmers, they don't get a huge amount of support, so anything we can give back to them, the better, really. I told people that there's a farmers market round the corner to me, and they know I live in London, and they're really surprised, because you just don't get it enough. The more of them, the better, as far as I'm concerned.
They launched an online crowdfunding scheme in order to raise money to keep the farm running. Donors would receive incentives for this.
£50 would have bought you a short course with one of our rural artists, or £500 we would have taken a load of animals off to somebody's office for a lunch break petting session. There were lots of different things, books, signed copies of books, t-shirts, that kind of thing.
Thanks to the generosity of the local community, the farm raised over £20,000. But this money is only set to last for about 3 to 4 months, so again there will be a need to fundraise in the immediate future and to continue the search for other sources of backing. In another part of East London is Dalston Eastern Curve Garden. Dalston is one of the most built-up areas of Hackney, with very limited access to any green space. The garden offers just that. Marie Murray manages the garden.
The mission, the goal, is to give access to green, relaxing, breathing space in the middle of Dalston.
The garden is under a serious threat of redevelopment within the area. Developers want to build a walkway to a new shopping centre right the way through the garden. The land it sits on is owned by both Hackney Council and property development company Criterion Capital.
So between them both, they have an ambition to turn this space into a walkway that would lead people from Dalston Lane, just outside our front door, to what would be a redeveloped shopping centre. The big story really is that the shopping centre, as is, would be demolished, and there would be approximately 500 apartments with shops underneath. Importantly for visitors to this garden, they're horrified to hear that the garden could be destroyed in the process.
Despite the looming threats, the garden is still running a host of activities, and this isn't putting off new volunteers. It took part in the Big Dig, with local people encouraged to go to a gardening session, to prepare for the new growing season and to learn some new skills. It offers a chance to relax, get fit and enjoy the fruits of your hard work.
Well, we've never done anything like this before. We live just across the street, so we've been here a couple of times, and this is like the first day of spring. We knew there was a day going on where we could get our hands dirty, and that's why we came. The thing is that we live with a balcony, but we can't really grow anything, and we really want to grow something. So this is a good opportunity to come down and do some work and maybe be able to grow our own veggies here. Outside London, it's like, yeah, it's getting spring, you can see things getting green. I don't know, because I live in London. So yeah, I definitely think it's a good idea.
Parents consistently tell us they feel really safe because there's one way in and one way out, and once the children are here they feel very safe, and it's also a nice area for particularly young children to explore with some independence. And this garden has surpassed expectations on so many levels, and we feel that something, yes, it started out as something temporary, but now I think it's proved that it's needed in the area. It's not just a luxury, it's something that is actually, I would say, a right for people to have access to the green space. But this is not to build housing, so we're not standing in the way of that, nor would I say are we standing in the way of positive change in Dalston.
We contacted Criterion Capital, who have proposed the redevelopment plans. They told us nothing has been decided yet. In an attempt to save the garden, a comment book will be left within the site for visitors to write in. Residents will be encouraged to write to the Mayor of Hackney and to speak to councillors going in the elections in the coming months. Over the next year, the garden will discover its fate, but until then, Marie has said that they will continue to put their all into the garden. Equally, Stepney City Farm will be running as business as usual for the time being, hoping that a source of permanent funding will be found. Only time will tell if local support will be enough to keep these small corners of London green.